This oscillation might look harmless, but it almost ruined my solar panels. Building my own solar tracker was awesome, but it wasn't perfect. There are 3 things I wish I knew before I started. And if you are planning to build one, this could save you a lot of headaches. Before we go on, I want to pause for something more important than this project. Right now in Gaza, children are being starved to death and families are struggling just to survive. It's heartbreaking. I know this might hurt my retention or views, but honestly, what is that compared to human lives? If you can, take a moment to learn more or support in any way you can. And to my fellow makers and content creators, I'd like to start something I'm calling Pause for Gaza. Just a short pause in our videos to raise awareness. Even a small mention can make a difference. Together, our voices are louder. Alright, let's get into it. We will unlock these mistakes one at a time and I will show you how I solved each one along the way. First mistake, I used photoresistors. To understand the problem better, we need to go 8 months back. My panels faced east and afternoon, their output completely dropped. The other side was blocked by a tree, so I had 2 choices. Cut the tree and put solar panels on that side, or build something overly complicated. Naturally, I chose overly complicated. After months of work, I built this beast, aka single-axis solar tracker. It's like 2 solar panels on steroid. Fast forward to today when this happened. One day I came out here, the sun was over there, but my tracker was looking the other way, completely ignoring the sun, like it had better things to do. You know that feeling when your cat ignores you? Yeah, that's my tracker ignoring the sun. Same energy. I was confused and totally disappointed. I worked for 6 months on this project, only to see it not just fail, but doing the exact opposite of what it was supposed to do. Luckily, I had it built to send me signals on my phone, so I checked the readings, and sure enough, one of the sensors was completely off. When I built my tracker, I also built this little guy, my photo sensor. Cute, right? It's basically a couple of photoresistors and simple electronics, kind of like the tracker's eyes. The idea is simple. When one side gets more sunlight, it tells the tracker to move that way. In theory, that's super clever. In practice, well, let's just say it has a mind of its own sometimes. Here is the problem. Photoresistors are temperature dependent and they have the so-called memory effect, which means if they have been in bright light for a while, they don't reset properly. For a solar tracker that relies on accurate reading of these sensors to locate the sun, this confuses it. Precisely what happened to my solar tracker. A better option? Photodiodes. Or even regular LEDs will do the job. Honestly, I was surprised when I found out that LEDs can do this. Check this out. I have an LED that's connected directly to the voltmeter. Watch what happens when I put the light on it. Up to 1.6 volt. Black magic. This is one of the hidden superpowers of LEDs. If you are interested in knowing the science behind this, I highly recommend watching this video. Here's an even cooler option. Skip light sensors altogether, use real-time clock, your location, and a specific algorithm which is free you can find online to calculate exactly where the sun is in the sky at any given time of the day. This method is super accurate. It doesn't get confused by clouds, reflections, or shadows or whatever. The tracker just knows where the sun should be and points there. As much as I like this method, I won't really use it. I designed my tracker to use light sensors, so in order to integrate this one, I will have to do rewiring, change the software. That's a lot of work. If you are planning to build your own solar tracker, maybe you can use this and let me know how it goes. So I will have to stick with light sensors, but I'm going to use LEDs instead. LEDs are less temperature dependent, they don't have the memory effect, and they are much easier to wire than photodiodes because you can just hook them up directly to your analog input in your microcontroller. I choose green LEDs because they line up with the sun intensity peak, which is around green and yellow light. With this new setup, the tracker finally does what it's supposed to and doesn't come up with its own schedule. Next problem, the frame wobble. When the solar tracker moves, the whole structure dances. See this? This wobble can actually damage solar panels. My solution was to add 2 air springs. Kind of helped, but here's what I should have done differently. I mounted them straight up and down. If I had put them at an angle, they would resist the forces much better, and the whole structure will be stiffer. Problem is also with these air springs that are too short, they won't reach all the way to the corner, so I have to get longer ones. So I ordered 2 new air springs from JLCMC, which is the sponsor of this section of the video. JLCMC provides small and medium businesses and DIY makers with comprehensive supply chain of automotive components. Their goal is to deliver high performance and cost-effective solutions with exceptional quality. It was important for me to know the exact specs of these air springs before ordering them, and their website provides that. So I placed the order, and soon after I received the package. I will put a link of the specs in the description below the video. Here they are side by side for comparison. This new one is massive. Now that I have the new air springs, it's time for an upgrade. Here is a short build montage. So I finished mounting them both. That was a lot of work, but I'm gonna run a test now. Finger crossed. The reason why I put them this way, this part on top and this part at the bottom, is just to avoid any water coming from here, any rain. If it was the other way around, the water would go inside. I don't want that, so flipping it over like this is always a good choice. From just looking at it, these angled air springs are on fire. When I was about to run the test, I was so nervous that something might snap, and I didn't notice that I'm blocking the camera. Sorry about that. You can still see at the start there was some oscillation, but it quickly got captured by the air springs. Also midway down, there is still visible wobbling, however the amplitude is much lower than before. A decent improvement is definitely there. So the last problem is kind of related to the previous one. When the solar tracker moves, the panels kind of oscillate. This might look harmless, but it can actually cause micro cracks in the solar cells and permanently reduce the performance. And the solution is to put these foam pieces between the solar panels and the frame. You can get this foam from any hardware store. They are light, flexible, and soft enough to not cause any stress on the panels, but still able to absorb some of this vibration. Just make sure you get the right size for your panels and they fit easily without any additional pressure. Otherwise, you might risk actually damaging your panels. Let me just quickly remind you of what I said earlier. Please share Pause for Gaza, and if you visit another creator's channel, drop it in the comments. Together we can make this message too loud to ignore. Thanks for watching.